Justice, where are you? Michael and Linda are here.
Love you, Linda.
Where is justice? Will we ever find justice?
The courthouse the other day in the hallway, you're singing
Will
"Oh
we
Happy
know
Day."
justice when we see it? To be and down may I lead the way, hoping justice will win the day. Listener clues, finding justice where we can. Join us now, we're on the run. Justice is waiting, we'll see it done.
Nice drink.
Yeah, nice
go along
drink.
with our snack.
Am I hawking the Christmas merchandise in the merch store? I guess so. Since he's doing that, go to our merch store. We have brand new items for the holidays. Whatever holiday you celebrate, you'll love them. And that's the end of my hawk. Okay.
Well, welcome to a Justice Serve TV snack. We are very happy to have along with us today. There he is, our man in Massachusetts. Michael, how are you?
Michael Designore, great trial attorney, great trial attorney. I do have to say one thing though, Michael. We did have your other half on a couple of weeks ago, Tracy Paulson, to talk about what's in our water, and she was a star. So you're going to really have to step up to the plate here to equal Tracy. She was such a star of the show. I don't know if you can hear us.
I don't know either. Can you hear us, Michael?
Can you hear us? Somehow we've lost Michael's hearing here. And we just tested it out. It had worked. But we can hear you talking, just in case you
Yeah.
Maybe we'll take him off the stage a second until he gets settled.
Oh, wait.
Are you settled?
Are you hearing something? I'm hearing some clicking and clacking.
You know what it is, Michael? Maybe you better, I would suggest that you sign out and sign back in. Sign out and sign back in.
Yep. Okay. While he's doing
And
that. What we're going to talk about is this procedural challenge, I'll call it, between all of the civil matters with Karen Reed et al. And, we got one case filed in Bristol. That's the new civil case, right?
Right. That's the Karen Reed versus Michael Proctor, Buchanan Tully, Albert McCabe Higgins.
Yeah. And then we have, of course, the existing civil case in which Karen Reed is a defendant, along with the two bars, right?
That's the estate of John O'Keefe et al. Right.
Exactly. So one is it Plymouth County? I get that one confused.
Plymouth
County, home of.
That's where Paul O'Keefe, who is the administrator of the estate, lives. Is filed in Plymouth County, and this one is filed in Bristol County.
So what's that all about? And I don't know if Michael's been able to. Oh, he's gone dark on us. I don't know what's happened to Michael. Somebody send out a search party.
Search party.
I don't know what's
happening. I don't know. The funny thing is we tested this before we went on. We talked to him. We put him on the stage. Everything was fine. This is, I think he's signing back in again.
He's back in.
Yes. He's back in again.
Well, there he is.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not sure why you guys were muted on the other one. Sorry about that.
I don't know, but we got you now. That's all that matters. So we told the folks what the plan is, and that's the whoa.
Sorry.
Whoa.
Let's do.
Tell me.
You've got sideways. You've got sideways.
Wait a second. I'm getting dizzy.
This is a true Justice Serve TV snack. He went sideways on us.
All right. Sometimes
funny for us because
hold on, let me just have some cough syrup here with my eggs.
I have a feeling that we may have to deal with this another time.
Well, I don't know. Let's give him one more second to pop back in, and we'll see.
So let me ask you this question. Anyway, you can cut the first 4 minutes of the show.
Okay. I feel like we're in a prize fight. Somebody's down for the count. We need to count them out at the count of 10. We'll call the fight. 1, 2, 3, 4, sides of the ring. Get up!
Well, let me ask you this: in case we don't have a show on
Yeah.
Monday with Joe Tacopino, what are you doing Thanksgiving? Because we should wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Okay,
should.
in case you don't have a show. So on Monday, this may be the last time we're seeing everybody be
It's
until
true.
after Thanksgiving, and we want everyone to have a healthy, happy Thanksgiving. So maybe we should just talk about this now. And why don't we do that real quickly,
Okay.
Michael?
Yeah. Let's
All right.
talk about just the challenge of combining, two counties, different civil cases. First, you have the overriding concern of judicial economy, right? You want to,
Right.
you're not looking to split resources, duplicate resources. So it makes sense. Let's get them together. What are the negatives? How are you arguing against that if you don't want that?
Two separate individual actions that is going to delay with and I would argue that you can't form shop if you're the new plaintiff because you knew that you had intended to consolidate it with the estate of John O'Keefe, and therefore you should have filed it in Plymouth. That's what I would argue. Okay,
so
but
now we'll get our third voice.
Okay, our third voice. Okay, so we have two cases. One filed in Plymouth by the administrator of the estate of John O'Keefe. We have a new case now filed in Bristol County that the Massachusetts State Police and Town of Canton will be added as defendants as soon as you can, pursuant to a code there where you have to give notice before you actually add them. Period. Michael, why is this happening? What happens? Is this case going to be consolidated? And if not, why not?
I would imagine they would consolidate the two cases. But I think Karen Reed definitely filed this to change the narrative of the case in Plymouth County. Her complaint basically alleged her theory of what happened, that she was framed, maliciously prosecuted. And she's got all the details in there. Proctor's text messages, the claim that the taillight was planted, the gaps in time with the surveillance from the police department, the fact that there's just so much evidence they have suggesting that there could have been a cover-up, a conspiracy, phones disappearing.
Well, let me just interrupt you a second. She has pled under her jurisdiction and venue, paragraph 27, that venue is appropriate in this court pursuant to Massachusetts general laws because at least one party to the case, plaintiff Karen Reed, resides in Bristol County. So you have O'Keefe pleading in Bristol County because the party who's administrator to the estate, John O'Keefe, resides in Plymouth County. So how do you resolve, though, the issue of both plaintiffs live in different counties? Which county is going to get it?
My sense is it's going to be probably Plymouth because they filed first. I think that's how the court, I don't think there's a rule on that. I thought it was interesting they filed in Bristol instead of Norfolk. It looked like she had vast support in Norfolk County. Just
She also had Judge Bev that she could possibly get.
I think that was probably off the table because of all the experience and conflicts that would arise. So, but yeah, to Linda's point, the judge is going to be saying, okay, Bristol, Plymouth. What's the tipping point there?
As far as which one they'll pick, I think they'll pick Plymouth because the litigation's already started for one. It's already assigned to a judge. I think it's going to be in Plymouth because they filed first.
That's interesting. So whoever gets the courthouse first may get the tactical advantage. That's really interesting.
And they did, Michael. They just assigned a new judge to that case as well. So it's probably as good a time as any. It's not like you're deep into the original litigation.
Right.
How about the Massachusetts State Police? If they get added and Canton Police get added, did they have any say to say, hey, this should be Massachusetts State Police in a different county? Is there any requirement that if you sue the state police, it has to be in a different county? Or I know in my state, and that wouldn't be the case. It could be where the plaintiff lives.
Oh, no, not to my knowledge. Or that there's the state police, I don't think can remove it. I think it could be removed to federal court because they have the federal claims. They put those in. I suppose the Karen Reed's team wouldn't mind if it got moved to federal court. Generally, you'd rather keep it in state court. I think they would all be better off in state court than federal court. But potentially it could move to federal court.
Yeah,
where-
that's a good point. Do you think that they're somehow
Can I ask
baiting-
you one before that? What federal court? Where would that be? Boston?
It likely would go to Boston, but it could go to any of the regionals. But yeah, it would likely be federal court in Boston would handle it based on.
I'm sorry, Mike, I interrupted you, but I think that may be important to your question.
Yeah, I just thought, is there some baiting going on here, by dangling these claims that could arguably be litigated in federal court, saying, let's, bring your motion to remove to federal court. Is it something they want, do you think?
I think that the Karen Reed team probably thinks that the other side's not going to remove it, and I think that's why they put it in. I think neither side likely wants to move it to federal court, where the litigation would go much faster, for one, and I think they would, I think both sides probably would prefer having the case handled in state court than federal court.
So what happens when the Massachusetts State Police get added, though? Can't they remove it on the basis they feel that the judges are more used to 42 U.S.C. 1983 cases and qualified immunity, which, we've seen those in federal court throwing them out. At that point, if they're added late, can they then remove it? Do they still have the right?
Yes, I would agree. I think the defendants could remove it. The state police could ask to remove it. So from a defense standpoint, I think they would probably want to move it because they probably would figure they have a better shot of having a summary judgment motion allowed in federal court. It'd give you a wider jury pool. So I think if you're defending the case, I think you want it in federal court, but we have basically two cross plaintiffs. I think Karen Reed's team probably is if this litigation settled, I think she wins. I think she's using this to go on the offensive, put her theory forward to defend the wrongful death claim, and at the same time, that way she's asserting her theory, not letting them control the narrative, putting her in the on the defensive again, as they said in court, that her days of being the defendant are done. So I think if you're the plaintiffs, I'd be concerned about her claims because she's vastly popular. She's got strong support, and she's obviously been harmed. I think the discovery process, really both sides need, the Karen Reed's team, I think, needs to find a smoking gun. And I think they think they're going to find it to really support all the circumstantial evidence that they have here. They got quite a bit. I think they need, through discovery, depositions, they need that one piece that really connects all the dots. And if they found it, someone on trial for 4 years, she lost a good paying job, her damages are, you can't even calculate how much she's been harmed if they can prove this conspiracy.
One more wrinkle, and see if it matters. Let's assume the answer by the current defendants in this civil case file their own cross-complaint, cross-claim. What do you call it in Massachusetts? Counterclaim?
Correct. Yeah, counterclaim or cross-complaint.
Yeah. Does that muddy the waters anymore? How would that affect these decisions on consolidation, if at all?
I don't think it would affect it. I think right now, if either side would have the right to take it to federal court based on the federal claims in both complaints. And then which court actually hears the case, I think, is going to be something, decide by the judge. But I think they're going to probably give preference to where the suit originated.
Yeah, and I along that line, no matter who, if somebody removed it or whatever, they're not removing the estate of John O'Keefe. That still stands apart because that person's not a defendant in this claim that was filed by Karen Reed. So they have to be heard. And also, I don't know if Massachusetts is kind of like New Jersey. Whoever gets in first, and if there's a judge assigned, the judge can, the venue is kind of one of those things that's kind of like, if the courts, I feel if the courts want to change it, they can change it based on, they could say some kind of conflict or some ease of the judge who's been assigned to it. I mean, that's what I think, but I don't know what Massachusetts does.
I think it'd be the same way in Massachusetts. There's not really strict rules of venue. I think the administrator of the trial court might step in and try to decide where can we best accommodate this, which courtroom. So Plymouth Superior Court, I just came from there actually, much bigger courthouse, easier for security, staffing. Bristol, they filed it in Taunton. That would I have to go to Fall River Justice Center. There's a lot of business there. That's not really a great place. The old Taunton court, it's really an old building. I don't even think they use it very much. You couldn't really have this kind of trial there. So practical reasons, maybe Plymouth would be the court they would pick for that reason as well.
And Taunton, is Taunton harder? I mean, I used to have a house in Marion, Massachusetts, which is near Fall River and Taunton and all. Taunton's harder to get to, I think, than Plymouth.
Right. It depends on where you're coming from, but for Plymouth, right off the highway, right off Route 3, Taunton, yeah, you there's no easy way to get to Taunton. You're kind of going through back roads and towns that don't have much to offer, basically.
And those practical considerations are legit. It's staffing. Do these lesser courtrooms or courthouses have the folks to do it? So we'll see. It looks like the smart money's on Plymouth, though. So we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see what happens. Michael, thank you for bearing with our techno challenges. We always appreciate you popping on and
no problem. Anytime. Nice to see you, Linda. Nice to see you, Mike. Have a great day.
Thank you, Michael. Regards to your wife.
Oh, yes. I'll let her know. He said hi. Thanks.
All right, then. There you have it. We'll see what happens as the documents continue to pour in the latest of the Reed matters. Hey, hit the go ahead. I was going to
hit the subscribe, subscribe, like, share, notify button. Happy Thanksgiving if we don't see you. And if we do see you, we're still wishing you a happy Thanksgiving. We just get to do it twice.
Try to do the right thing.
On the sky.